Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Gluttons for Geekdom Live. I'm Nick James, and today we are going to be talking about Snicked Wolverine. Yes, the awesome Weapon X, as some would know, Logan, Jimmy, James Howlett. I don't know if he's got any others. If you didn't catch our live video last night, Mr. Rick Classic and Mr. Bobby Deuce were here. As you can see, I've got some empty chairs now, but they were here. We did some awesome podcasting last night. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can feel my voice. Like, we talked so much. All that's going to come at you. This Sunday, we're going to drop a new one, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That'll be up on iTunes and Podbean, followed by YouTube a little bit later after Bobby's going to set up a sweet video for it. After that, we get into the DCEU, and that's even next week out. So we've got stuff coming out the wazoo. We're going to have a lot of great podcasts coming out. In the meantime, let's get back to some Wolverine action. Like I said, James Howlett was first. He's a Canadian. Let's just talk about how awesome that is. The first time we saw him was in The Incredible Hulk. Technically 180, you get like a little kind of panel of him, small. And then really 181 is when he comes and fights the Wendigo with the Hulk. And that's when we first get who he looks like and what he does. Len Wein, or Wine, W-E-I-N, I'm not too sure. Wein or Wine, whatever. Not whatever, excuse me, sir. And John Romita Sr. was the art department person. So he designed him, but the first person to draw him was Herb Trump. And he put it for the first publication after going after John Romita Sr. If you don't know John Romita Sr., the reason we call him Sr. is because his son, named right after him, are two of the greatest, fantastic, most awesome comic book artists to ever get into the game. They both have ridiculously awesome Spider-Mans. Junior is one of my favorites because he does all the art for Kick-Ass, excuse me. Yeah, we were up till like 2 a.m. and then we all had to be up until like 7. We were up, but no, we stayed up earlier. It was long, but it's going to be so well worth it. Just wait. So Chris Claremont and John Byrne, B-Y-R-N-E. I spell it just so you can look it up. I'm trying to give everybody, because you got to go look it up. If you notice those names right off the bat, it's because you notice this. Those are those names right there, Claremont and Byrne. And this is Days of Futures Past. If you don't have this, pick it up. Quite amazing. Again, I don't know publication and what I'm allowed to show for that long. But in this, you get him fighting the Hulk, or not the Hulk, you get Wolverine fighting the Wendigo. And he even says in a panel like, oh man, I've been aching for a rematch with the Wendigo. And then the next piece is just giant 4 panels, just Wolverine smacking the hell out of him. Days of Future Past, the movie. Go look this up. It's amazing. And those two really brought the character into what we know today, into the really cigars, chomping, just big old sideburns. And then, what was his name? Oh gosh. Chris Claremont, worked with Frank Miller for a little bit. And in that duo, that's where we get, I'm the very best at what I do. But what I do isn't very nice. That's incredible. That's such a line. I am the very best at what I do, but what I do isn't very nice. How just fantastic is that? It's scary, and it's true. He is the very best at what he does, and what he does is very nice. Just in case I didn't say it enough for you guys. So that's some publication history. This is the part in the show that's really awesome, because usually I'll go, the first time we got, and then we got, and then. So I'm going to talk about the first actor to play Wolverine, and that was Hugh Jackman, and that was in X-Men. That came out in 2000. The next person to play Wolverine was Hugh Jackman, and that was in X2, which came out in 2003. After that, Hugh Jackman got the role, and that was in The Last Stand in 2006. After that, they went to an origin story about Wolverine, so they switched it up, and Hugh Jackman played the role. In 2009, there was a cameo, so they brought Hugh Jackman back for that. He was the one in the first 3, and they brought him back for that to do the First Class cameo. But after that, they did another standalone Wolverine movie, and they got Hugh Jackman, and he played it in 2013. Days of Futures Past came after that, so I think they went a little bit of a different route, and they called up Hugh Jackman, and Hugh Jackman played him. And then in Apocalypse, they went back to the original guy to play him in the first one all that time ago. What was his name? I should have written it down. I don't know. But on March 3rd, Hugh Jackman is going to get another turn at playing Wolverine Logan. It's if you didn't catch the whole riff, then 9 times. 9 times? If you don't get the Ferris Bueller joke, then come on, guys, keep up. 9 times he played him. March 3rd, I can't wait for that. You know, I think we're getting X-23. I don't want to get into spoilers or really, I mean, I guess it can't really be spoilers. I'm not sure if she's on the list. I don't really know too much about it because in terms of X-Men and their timeline, Deadpool again has the best quote of the day, you know, when Colossus is dragging him away and he says, come on, we're going to go talk to Professor X. And he says, Stewart or McAvoy, these timelines are so confusing. And it's true. I mean, I'm not really sure where this is going to stand in time because, again, you got now old Professor X driving with old man Logan. And I don't know. Sorry for the camera work. If you saw it too, I just wasn't setting up the still again. It's just, it was a long night. I kind of like sitting down, though. So we'll see how this brings us. I don't know if I can get a better still because right now we're still in awesome swivel mode. So there you go. A little bit more of the cave. I'm thinking on Instagram we're going to do a full 100% ride through of the cave. But you got to be on our Instagram to like that. So we are Gluttons for Geekdom on Instagram. 9 times Old Man Leia. I don't want to get into all of that. So let me know everything that you want to talk about, Logan. We talk about it. Cartoons really quick if we want to get into as well. The original X-Men by far is who brought Wolverine into my heart. I don't think I'll ever be able to live down the story of standard X-Men stuff of Wolverine leaving and Logan and Scott's like, where are you going? And Wolverine gets really close to his face and he goes, Snake, I go where I want to go. I'm like, if Scott's like, oh gosh, and gets out of his way. And I was a little kid, and I thought that was real. And like when I said it, it wasn't like I was doing like I just did, trying to be scary. I said it in all earnestness, like I was scary, earnestness. I was scary. I really thought I was because I was the Wolverine. Another underrated one is X-Men. No, Wolverine and the X-Men. It's pretty much a Days of Futures Past. You get Charles in the future fighting Megamind or Megabot, whatever. It's not Megamind, is it? No, that's a different franchise. What is it? Master Mold, Masterbot, whatever. Sorry, late. It's so good. It is so good. Look into it. You get awesome Rogue in it too. Another underrated one or I say it's underrated because nobody's talking about it. Let me know in the comments how you feel about X-Men Evolution as well. That's when we get a, gosh, my battery's just going low. Sorry, guys. That's when we get orange kind of Wolverine. And if you follow, and like that's a Wolverine that doesn't go over too well with a lot, but I like it. You know, it's not the classic, what would you prefer, yellow spandex. Last thing I want to go through, the latest thing that I'm going through with it, this is the back. But like how freaking awesome is that? I talk a lot about him. If you don't have some Grant Morrison in your collection, get some Grant Morrison in your collection. And what's so weird about this book, and again, I don't really know how much, but if you see at the top there, like all this beginning just reads like a regular comic book. Then just out of nowhere, it flips. And the whole thing you have to start reading like this. And it goes all the way right until the very end. And I'm not going to tell you why it does that because it's for a reason. It's a cool reason. Sorry. Go ahead and pick that up if you haven't seen it again. Grant Morrison. The other one I picked up, let's go through that again in case it's Days of Futures Past. Don't go, oh my gosh, they made the movie into a comic book. So you'll pick this up and you'll be confused. If you need any more, I would just go more original. I would get into when Jim Lee got it. Jim Lee does do a great job with it, and that was one of the first things he started doing. I'd check out any of his work that he does, because he always likes to work with, he loves good story, too, so he works with great guys. Like I said, follow us on Instagram for the Gluttonous Cave. That'll be Sunday. How about that? I promise on Sunday, everybody on our Instagram will get a first-hand tour of everything, all the nuts and bolts, caches, and stops of the Glutton Cave. Gluttons for Geekdom. Tweet us at Gluttonous Geeks. We're on YouTube, Gluttons for Geekdom. This is Facebook, Gluttons for Geekdom. You can email at us at Gluttons of Geekdom. I don't know why that happened. Thank you, everybody. Comments down below. I've been Nick James. See you soon. Oops, sorry.